right. Make sure I get my notes out as well. All right, Shalom Yahweh Shem Yahweh to all the brothers, Shalom Yahweh Shamar Ilathah by Shem Yahweh Shai to all the sisters. This is ISUPK, side of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. And this is the Las Vegas Tuesday law class. Let's give a hand to the Lord. Right. Today, I'm actually going to do a continuation class from my last class from last Tuesday. As you see in the title, it says One Truth, One Body, One West. Last Tuesday's class was basically, we went over the story with Moses when the congregation, the Israelites decided to go up against Moses and attempt to create division, and essentially what it would be translated today as fake camps, right? So we're doing a continuation of that. I had more scriptures on that after Moses, because of course we had instances as well with Yahweh Shai and other instances throughout the Bible. So I wanted to finish that up. I think this is a very powerful class, especially with the things that are going on today, where there is confusion amongst Israel, where people think that just because they have fringes on, or they're calling themselves Israelites, that they're in the right. You understand? And especially with the fact that how would I say, these prophecies unfolding the way that they are, now is high time for us to wake up and wake up out of our sleep. You understand? We're really starting to see that our time is limited. So with the limited time, it's very important to realize where you are standing. And it's actually quite very simple to see and understand where you are standing with the Most High. And actually, young man, I want to see if, just a check on knowledge, a test on knowledge. Do you know how you can evaluate yourself on on what side that you stand on with the Most High?
Can you break that question down in a more?
How are you able to self-evaluate to know whether or not you are doing the things, you are doing the work of the Lord or not? And of course, I just want to see if you know or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be afraid to be wrong. Don't be afraid to give an answer is what I should say.
I say being obedient and keeping the commandments to the Most High God.
Okay, well, these fake Israelite camps believe that they are being obedient to the Most High. They believe that they are following the Most High and being obedient to the Most High. Take, for example, where I don't know if you had seen that video that was circulating on Facebook, where the leader of whatever group they were in did the whole Hebrew salute and this, that, and the other, but was going in on what his Thanksgiving layout was, and majority of it had pork, and then proceeded to damn near say, I don't give a damn what y'all say, like, we eating it because this is what Yahweh Shai died for, or something along those lines, right? So he believes that he's in the right, but how are you able to actually check yourself to see if you are following the Most High God or not? Because you are on the right track, though. Like, that is a simple answer. I just want a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that these people, these goofies, are doing their own thing. They are following their own doctrine, so to speak, right? So
from what I learned last class with Numbers chapter 16, a very powerful class too, because it made me understand, Commanding General Yohana since 1969 has been already anointed to already do this right here, and then all these brothers they came into this that under him, and then they broke off and did their own thing. So if the brothers who are in their own camp, right, because they want to follow the the scriptures that benefit them only, instead of doing what is according to UPK, I'm not gonna say according to it, but according to the Most High's will, under Commanding General Yohanan, we should be coming together under the one banner of IUSBK and really doing this together and serving the Most High God, and that's how you truly examine yourself.
So say again, why is it that it's the ISUPK though?
Because since 1969, the Lord already anointed Commanding General Yohanan to do this work.
So understand this. Commanding Yohanan wasn't necessarily anointed. It was when everybody started to leave, he was the last man standing. So in other words, he's the only one who he was the highest ranking man at the time that everybody else split off. So by default, he assumes the throne. Throne's too strong of a word. He assumes the role of which that he is in as the leader of Israel. You understand? But you are correct. That's where I wanted to go with it, right? And that's extremely important for everybody to understand that everything else is just, all these other fake camps is just everybody deciding that they don't want to follow after the truth. The truth is here. Everybody else just decided to break off and create their own truth. But you also, in the midst of that, their truth, which ends up being exposed to be just a BS lie of pride and lust, those other fake camps are crumbling and they're falling. They're being exposed for the wickedness of which it was created from. You understand? So that's the objective of this class, is for y'all to understand this, right? Before we get into the actual topic, I'm just going to ask that everybody make sure that they do their part. Make sure that you go on to Facebook, ISUPK Las Vegas. Make sure that you like and share the class. And of course, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you like the page as well, so that you can be up to date on all of our classes and material that we have coming forward. We got interviews. You understand? Like just this past weekend, you understand, Officer 1000 Shalimar interviewed TD Jake's cousin and interviewed him on, but the allegations against TD Jakes. You understand what I'm saying? You guys can actually, you can peep that for yourself on ISUPK Las Vegas Facebook page, or you can go over to our YouTube page, Las Vegas Israelites. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube page, hit the little bell button so you can get all the notifications, so then that as soon as we drop those videos, you can be one of the first ones to like, share, and comment on them videos, right? So make sure that you like and share our YouTube page as well, Las Vegas Israelites. If there's anybody that is online that has any questions, I strongly encourage you to ask your questions. Post them in the chat. I will answer them to the best of my ability scripturally. If I'm unable to do that myself, I will write them down and take your question to a mightier man than myself. Point being to doing it that way is that I understand that I may not have all of the answers, but I can get them for you. You understand? We're not like the Christian church where we're going to sit here and do a song and dance and make, tell you sweet nothings to make you feel good and make you think that your question was answered, this, that, and the other. We deal with nothing but the truth here in the ISUPK. You understand? That is what we are built on and stand on. You understand? If you have any questions in the classroom, make sure that you raise your hand. I think that's it for my announcements for the most part. So, any questions in the classroom? Go ahead, young man.
First question is, I wanted to know if this was a literal or parable, because I know Yahweh Shai spoken a lot of parables.
Okay.
This is St. John chapter 4 and verse number 18.
Let me get there. So John 4 and 18.
Come.
John chapter 4 and 18. Go ahead and read it when you got it.
This is John chapter 4, verse number 18. It says, "For thou hast had 5 husbands,
Mm-hmm.
and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband, and that said is thou truly."
All right. So one way that we get an understanding in the ISUPK is like there's a general rule that we do, which is 2 up, 2 down, or you go to the beginning of the chapter, which will help you with context, right? So right here, we're going to go to 2 verses up. Go ahead.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Yahushua said unto her.
Go one more up.
Verse 15.
Uh-huh.
The woman said unto him, Sir, give me this water, that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw.
Okay, so this is a woman who approached Yahushua and was asking, for the water. You understand? Go ahead and read on.
Verse 16. Yahushua said unto her, Go, call thy husband, and come hither. So
now, why do you think that Yahushua has said to this woman, "Go and call your husband, and then come here"? Why do you think?
Because we as Israel should only be dealing with the husband.
Right. You don't want to be in a position where you are looked at in the wrong way for it, and it could be just a harmless conversation that you're having with a married sister. It could be harmless, but when instead of having that that conversation, especially when you're giving her something, could be a gift, whatever, you want the husband to be present. But why though? What umbrella does this fall under?
Order?
Huh?
Order?
No.
Respect.
Okay, but I would say that respect, it kind of coincides with the word that I want you to use. Actually, no, I think this word is far greater than respect.
I don't know, sir.
Brotherhood. It's brotherhood. Because now think of it like this, right? Your rib is thirsty, whatever. She's asking something of me that I have, right? Or whatever. It doesn't even have to be anything in particular. Your rib is coming to me saying something to me. And it's harmless, right? For, sparking up a conversation. You're far off and you don't know what we're saying. You see mannerisms, whatever, and everybody knows I'm a funny dude. So I was messing with you. But you understand, your rib approaches me, says something to me, right? And I engage in that conversation. You're far off, and you see that. Let's say that you are a very jealous and possessive brother. What do you think could come out of that from you just seeing me just talking to your rib?
Causing a lot of friction at the house.
Exactly. So this is brotherhood that we should all always exercise, because it doesn't matter whether or not you don't know her husband. So out of the sake of love and brotherhood for my brother, I'm not even going to risk it. I'm not sure who your husband is. So, hey, you know what? Go get your husband. You understand? Now, of course, it gets a little bit different. I will say, when you are dealing with, like here in this zone where all of us brothers, we all know each other. So, if Shabal were to pull my rib aside, and I know that Shabal would actually come to me first. In fact, he would ask that I be there. But why would he do that? Because of the fact that out of brotherhood from me, just in case, because now I don't want you to ever think that like I'm trying to do something on the slide. But if Shabal were to get, engaged into a conversation with my rib, I know he knows for himself, and I'm also disclosing it as well. I wouldn't think nothing of it. And I know he knows that himself. That I wouldn't think that he would do that to me. He wouldn't offend me, and he wouldn't offend me like that, right? But let's be sure that is one of the ISUPK's mottos. Don't be sure, make sure. You understand? He's gonna make sure that, you know what, this brother ain't gonna be offended with whatever it is that I have to say to his rib. Because at the end of the day, whatever I have to say to your rib, you should be able to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's anything else, then nigga, what you doing? Yeah, how I was exercising that and displaying that, right? So go ahead and read on, just so that we have an understanding, right? Go ahead and read on.
Come. Verse 17.
Uh-huh.
The woman answered and said, I have no husband.
Mm-hmm.
Yahushua said unto her, thou hast well said, I have no husband.
Okay, now to your question, verse 18. Go ahead.
Verse 18. For thou hast had 5 husbands.
So you're asking if this is literal. Right. Now, what do you think? Why do you think Yahushua would say something like that?
This is something that I study. I'm not study, but just read it in a spiritual way. I'm thinking maybe he's talking about the 5 first books of the Torah. You know, that's your husband, because we're supposed to be married to the Most High God in Christ. So I was thinking the first 5 books, and I can be just stretching it, but or just thinking too hard at the same time. But I was thinking the 5 first books.
That she's married to the first 5 books?
That she should be married to the first 5 books.
Read on.
Okay. And he whom thou now hast is not thy husband.
So, which of those first 5 books is not her husband now? And I'm asking. Because, of course, we got to make sense of what you were thinking of first. So then that way you can understand that. And, of course, like, this is no, like, knock on you. But so then that you understand, like, you're able to dispel the nonsense that you thought it was, so that we can have a full understanding of what it actually is, right? So which of the first 5 books was she married to that, now isn't, right? So he said, for thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou hast had, he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. What did he say right there? Put that in plain words. Mind you, whenever I ask a question, let's always remember, whenever I ask a question, I'm a dumb Christian. So I need you to lay this out flat, because I go to church on Sundays, and, I follow after, TD Jakes, who loves to be in a circumstance of being swallowed, right? So
he basically said, you had 5 husbands, but the person you're saying now is not even your husband.
Okay.
The person that I told you that you have a husband, you're saying that he's not your husband.
Okay. So give it to me a little bit simpler. Pause.
Like you're saying you don't have a husband?
Even though?
When you had 5?
Each time that okay, do you understand what makes a marriage? What makes a man a woman's husband, and what makes a woman a man's husband? What makes a woman a man's wife or rib, and what makes a man a woman's husband? Do you understand what that is, though? Sex. So what is he saying about? So what is he saying about this one?
She had sex with 5 different men.
She had sex with 5 different men, and the last one, you're still saying that that's not your husband. That's what he just said. Read on.
Come. And that saidest thou truly.
So what is he saying right there? In that, you said that truly.
You said that like in confidence.
No, that was true.
Oh.
Simple. See, look, you got to be careful with, when you're reading Yahushua's words, that and understandably so, he spoke a lot of parables. Like you started off with saying, he says a lot of parables. A lot of them are kind of hard to understand, right? But learning the differences between his parables and when he's actually dealing with somebody saying something to him, like, you know what I'm saying? Because so right here, he's letting her know, like, Yeah, the last husband that you had, you've had 5 husbands, you've had many husbands, and the last one that you got, you ain't dealing with him like a wife. You not being a wife to him. You not, you're being truthful. You don't have a husband. What is he saying though? What is he actually saying?
She's a whore.
Bitch, you a whore.
Come.
And in fact, you ain't about to get me trapped up in this, because if you actually read the whole thing, right? This is approaching him trying to get at Yahushua. She's trying to get at him. She's trying to make him, one of the 5, one of the many. Because so you gotta also remember, like whenever a majority of the time when we use numbers in the Bible, it's always like a general term, like how we talk today. But man, nigga, I called you 5 times. But then you look at your call log, like, nigga, you called me twice. What are you talking about?
Come.
But it's like the fact that I had to call you more than once was too many. So there's buku times, like, wow, I was blowing your phone up. Like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? It's the same exact thing with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? You have many wives. You have 5 wives. You have many wives. It's like you have many husbands. You know what I'm saying? The funny thing about that is we would never necessarily say that a man has many wives. Why? Because nigga, like your desire is your desire. But anything over 1 for a woman is, first of all, you a whore. And then secondly, like, bitch, you had a lot. You went through a lot of Rod. You need counseling. Right? So did I answer your question?
That definitely answered my question.
You understand?
Come.
All right. So this was pretty much literal. He was having a literal conversation with his sister. He wasn't trying to necessarily break anything down. It was just him letting the whore know, like, yo, I'm not the one. And I know what you are. I know what's going on. You understand? Did you have any more questions?
Genesis chapter 1.
Ooh, Genesis 1. Okay, let's go.
And verse number 3.
1 and 3. All right. Read it when you got it.
If I may, I want to start at verse 14 though, and then jump up to 3.
So you want to go to 14 and then 3. Go ahead.
All right. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. It says, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So when I read this, this is when he actually made, like, nighttime, morning time, all that stuff, right? Because
good.
Because when I read verse 3, it's using the same light, day and darkness. If I can read it.
Okay.
Verse 3 says, and God said, let there be light, and there was light.
Okay.
So when I read that, I'm just like, okay, this probably is not talking about the same light that's in verse 14. So what is this light in verse 3?
Okay. So let's get an understanding of verse 3 first. Okay. Now, read verse 1.
Come. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Now, read that again from the top.
Come. In the beginning.
In the what?
In the beginning.
In the what?
In the beginning.
In the beginning. What do you think the beginning of what?
The beginning of creation.
What creation?
Of the heavens and earth.
So we have the beginning of the heavens and earth. What do you think the heavens are, though? Okay. Yeah, tell me what you think. Yeah, because I don't want to give it to you. What is the beginning of the heavens in this context?
The beginning of heaven is... To be honest, I don't know.
Look up in the sky.
God. So the beginning of, like...
It's not the beginning of him creating, the dominion of which he's in, not that heaven. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's important to understand the context of these things, right? This is the beginning of him creating the heaven of which he resides in. This is the beginning of him making our realm, earth, the sky, the stars, what we are being given. You understand? Go ahead and read on.
Verse number 2.
Uh-huh.
And the earth was without form.
Was without form. Go ahead.
And void.
And void. Do you know what void is?
Nothing.
Yeah. It's just nothingness, right? Now, what is in nothing? Name me something aside from nothing that is in nothingness. No, you can give me one thing. Right. Read on.
Verse number from the top, verse number 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Right. So there was just darkness. It's nothingness. Nothing and darkness are a married couple. When you have nothing, it's dark. Right? By default. Go ahead and read on.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Verse 3. And God said, let there be light.
Let there be light. So was there light before?
It was darkness.
It was dark. Right? So go ahead.
And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good.
Okay.
And God divided the light from the darkness.
So he divided the light and the darkness. He made a separation between nothingness and something. You understand? Now, that's actually like something that you should always remember, because what is sin, evil, wickedness? What is one word in particular that I'm looking for is, describes those things.
Describes sin.
Describes sin. Okay, not necessarily sin, but okay, yeah. Sin, wickedness, evil. These things are what?
Darkness.
Okay, it's darkness, but give me a little bit more, because it goes with what we just went over. That there, when there's darkness, there's nothing. So there's one other synonym that's going to go along with the darkness, with the nothingness, and there, because all of it it's a verb. Well, no, it's not a verb. It's done in this word, and that's because I'm gonna help you a little bit. This is probably going to be one of the few times I really nudge you into what the answer is. When you commit sin, it's done in what? When you commit wickedness, it's done in what? Evil is done in what?
Lust.
Right, but no.
Without understanding?
No.
No.
It's done in vain. What do you get out of being evil? What do you get out of being wicked? What do you get out of darkness and nothing? Just it's all vanity. It's all in the same realm. Do you understand? Go ahead and go to verse 14 now.
Verse 14.
Okay.
And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven.
So do you know what that is? What those lights are? Now we're talking about something that's plural.
I would say stars.
Stars. Mind you, the sun is a star, right? The moon. These are things that are in the firmament, right? Now you understand what the firmament is, right? Scientifically speaking, what is the firmament?
It's the storm that's around that doesn't pass the moon, or not the moon, that's like just that darkness that's above where the light is.
Let me ask you something real quick. Is Earth flat or is it round?
Flat.
All right, I understand. No. So you don't think we've ever been to the moon?
No.
You don't think there's outer space?
I believe there's outer space, but I don't think.
What is outer space then?
Outer space is what's past the firmament, I would say.
What do you think is past the firmament? What is the firmament?
The firmament is everything below outer space.
No, the firmament is our atmosphere.
Okay.
It's our atmosphere. We now, am I going to say necessarily we had the Big Bang, that theory? Because mind you, it's a theory. F it no, right? And we can dialogue a little bit more on flat Earth and round, globe Earth, after class. I'm only going to touch on this just a bit, just because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter whether it is flat or not. But for the sake of understanding this, the Earth is round, and the atmosphere that's what the firmament is. You understand? So the stars, mind you, and if you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it more, because I got precepts with it, because Solomon literally talks about what the stars are. And what do the scientists talk about? What are stars? What is a star?
Fireballs.
It's balls of gas. Solomon refers to it pretty much that same exact way. You can help yourself, by the way. Yeah. So you understand? Like, you got to also remember that the Bible is also science. Right? So, and this is actually us understanding the world that we are in. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs." So what is the lights that are being divided from the day from the night?
That's the sun and the moon.
Sun and the moon. Now, just for the sake, make sure. What was your question exactly again? So I make sure that I'm actually going to answer it.
I wanted to know verse 3, because you know how it says light without an S, and then verse 14 has light with an S. So I want to know what
those lights were.
Right.
These are two different. Oh, okay. So let's go ahead. Let's finish breaking down 14, and then we'll go back to that. Right. Okay. So divide the day from the night. Go ahead.
Scott,
and let them. 14? Yeah, and let them.
And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years."
Now elaborate on that. How is it that the sun is? How is it that the sun, the moon? What did you say were the lights? Because you did say the sun and the moon, and what else? And the stars. How are those three things there for signs, as the for the days, the months, the weeks, the years? What does it say exactly? For signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. So break it down. How is it that the stars, the moon, and the sun
is supposed to help us to understand what times we're in?
No, but how is it that they are assigned for these times? Because I feel like I'm about to tell you something that's like you're gonna be like, are you for real?
I don't know.
You do realize that we used to read the stars, right? Oh, you knew that. I'm on sign Christ. So we knew that it was spring because of what? We were about to go into spring because of what? The stars. We read the stars. Now, of course, we understand what the days were because which was the sun and the moon, right? We know the seasons. We know the duration of the seasons because we read the stars. We watched the stars. But of course, now it not like oh, we're in the time of Leo or Aquarius, or you know what I'm saying, or oh, hey, this is the house of which I'm Gemini, right? Like, no, we read the stars to navigate as signs to when I should start planting, when I should get ready to reap my harvest. You understand? And of course, for years, because we knew that once we came back to a specific star constellation, okay, there's been an entire year that has passed at this point, right? So now we understand that. So do we understand the difference between the singular light and the plural light? Now, what is that singular light, though?
That's the singular light would just be literally the sun and the moon.
That's two lines. That's two lines.
Okay, so
because the moon, what is the moon? What the sun and the moon? Where is it at? Hold on. Read verse 16.
Verse number. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
And God made two great lights. The greater light.
So actually, I kind of overstepped. In verse 14, we're talking about the stars. Verse 16, now we're talking about the sun and the moon. So Salakia, I misspoke. Salakia. Verse 14 is just the stars. Verse 16, now we're talking about the sun and the moon. Read 16 again from the top.
This is Genesis chapter 1 and verse number 16 from the top.
Uh-huh.
And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night.
So the moon is a lesser light. It's still a light. It's just not. It's not like the. It's not like the sun. Without the moon, we'd have, darkness. It'd be blick outside. It's not even black. It's blick. You can't see nothingness. Something similar to when the Most High brought us out of Egypt, where it was so dark, it was it damn near suffocated you. It was so dark, right? And he made the stars also, right? So we understand that now. The singular light, I do have to get verification on that in particular, just because if the Big Bang is real, that's your Big Bang. But I actually believe, if I remember correctly, that we don't believe in the Big Bang. Actually, technically, the Big Bang is freaking flawed, anyways. You know what I'm saying? And I believe we do recognize that, but I'm gonna get verification on that. But was your answer question? Was your question answered? You understand?
Was answered. I would like to bring out another scripture to just make sure that it's for me to understand more.
Yeah.
This is Proverbs chapter 6 and verse number 23.
Proverbs 6. Let me get there with you. I'm almost there. Hold on, so watch you. 6 and what?
And verse 23.
All right, read it when you got it.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 6 and verse number 23.
Uh-huh.
For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
Okay.
So I'm, trying to understand, that's why I went to verse 3 in Genesis chapter 1, verse 3.
I know where you're going with this. Okay. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So was that when the laws was created too, or no?
Okay. Let me ask you this. Who do you think actually made the earth? Gave it form?
Yahweh and the angels.
And the angels. Okay.
I think that from what I've learned, and that's why I'm trying to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
Is that Yahweh gave the order to Yahweh Shai and the angels. And
Right.
They got it done.
So, and you understand how with what you just said also, coincides, because you're right, that coincides with what I had said earlier about heaven was already created. So you got to understand what heaven was already, or what heaven was being created, right? So you see how that matches together, right? Because if the angels weren't even there, who's he giving orders to? That's even why when you go to verse, what is it? I believe 26, where they said, we're going to make man in our image. Well, that's plural. So who's speaking amongst themselves? Mind you, selves being plural, right? It's the angels. The angels were given an order, right? Now, like I said, I've got to run verse 3 with a mightier man than myself, just off of the fact that I'm not entirely sure what the light actually is in verse 3 in Genesis, right? I mean, going from what you're saying, because you got to also think, like, it makes sense why you even trying to pair them together. Like, I'll say that off the rip, it makes sense, right? But the biggest thing is just to make sure, because I also, to also get like the face of the waters and stuff like that, I have to get that broken down as well, because then it has to follow suit with, all of these wrapping together, because we understand that there are no contradictions in the Bible, right? So, what was it, verse 23, right? For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. So, I mean, like I said, I will ask a man mightier than myself, and either I'll text it to you, or or actually, no, we'll still go over it in class, the following class of which I teach. So we're going to go Genesis 1 and 3, bring it to, that's Proverbs, what is it, 6 and 23?
Come.
Breakdown. All right, so I'll get that broken down so I can give you a no shit answer, right? Because I'm not going to do this. We don't do the whole speculation and whatnot. Because like I said, to me, that makes sense, what you just said. But I might go and get that, ask that question, and it might be something that just blows our freaking mind, where it's just like something totally different. You know what I'm saying? What's the motto? Don't be sure, make sure.
That's
Right?
Don't be sure.
Did you have any other questions?
That's it, sir.
That's it? Just those two? All right, no sweat. All right. So now let's get into the class, right? As the title says, you understand, one truth, one body, one West. All right. One truth, one body, one West. My goofy ass should have already pulled up freaking whatchamacallit, so it's a lock you. This is my fault. Got a little carried away. I'm pulling it up soon. All right. And then we'll get into this. Where's it at? There it is. All right. So we're going to start at the book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 2. So like I usually even have you prepped up and ready for that, man. I just dropped the ball.
Philippians 2.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
It's the book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse number 2. Fulfill ye my joy, that ye may, that ye be like-minded.
Be what?
Like-minded.
Divided.
Like-minded.
We're going to think for ourselves.
Like-minded.
Go ahead.
having the same love,
having different love.
Same love.
We're going to just think for ourselves, love whatever we want to love. Go ahead.
Having the same love, being of one accord,
being many accord.
One accord.
Damn, it's crazy because you're saying one accord, but I'm pretty sure that the scripture says that we can go, wherever our heart is what matters.
One accord.
Read on.
Of one mind.
One mind. Think for yourself, though.
One mind.
Man, you're talking about 7 billion people.
One mind.
Y'all understand? We're reading from the scriptures. All right. Now, break that down, young man.
So, we have to be able to come together as one body.
What does it mean to be as one? To come together as one body? What does that mean?
So, as one body, meaning because we have, as a body, we have different members. We have a lot of different members. Meaning we all have a spiritual gift that we can, like for instance, me watching some classes, brothers got I'm saying it right, the Hebrew, when they teach the Hebrew class, that's a spiritual gift that they have from the Lord.
Okay.
And some brothers, they're better at teaching, in this way or that way. So as one body, we have to come together under, Commander General Yohana, because, that's where it all started. But brothers got puffed up in the spirit and wanted to break off and do their own thing and be prideful at the end of the day. We need to come back together as one, as the scripture says right here, like-minded, that you be like-minded.
Stick with the first part. I want you to stick with the first part. I know where you're going with it, but
okay. So,
because I'm gonna tell you this, you should break it down easier than what you're doing right now. Lay it down flatter. It's like smooth. I'm a dumb Christian. I need you to. I am right now prepping you to not only deal with people in the classroom setting, but these are also questions that you're gonna, come across when we're at camp. Dumb Christians. You understand? So lay it down flat. Break it down. Fulfill ye my joy. So his joy is going to follow up with saying that ye be like-minded. All right. What is it? Break down being like-minded.
Like-minded, we all should be following the way of Christ.
The way of Christ?
Well, Yahweh through Christ. Because Christ, came down to be an example to how we should be keeping these laws.
He was the example to show us that the way the life that the Most High had commanded us to live by is doable. Right? So that's what Yahweh Shai did. So we be like-minded, but so explain that to me again. How would you explain us being like-minded?
Meaning, there's no people thinking that they're better than him, or people just doing what they want to do, but we're all just trying to be as humble as we can be like-minded, and try to come together as one, without any strife.
So you said you a hooper. Who's your basketball team?
Lakers.
I don't fuck the Lakers. Am I breaking the law?
Nah.
Do I have to like the Lakers because you like the Lakers?
Nah.
Do I have to? I'm not sure whose basketball team, if there is, if he does even like basketball, that Commander John Yohana likes. Do we all have to like that basketball team? So, what is the like-mindedness?
I'm gonna go with brotherhood.
Okay, brotherhood. Now we're walking back into the ballpark, right? Of course, we all do need to be like-minded. That's the second greatest commandment, right? Is for us to have that, love thy brother like you love yourself, right?
Come.
Brotherhood. But what are we supposed to be like-minded in, though? So you said brotherhood, but I mean, hell, how do we even know what brotherhood is?
According to scriptures, brotherhood should be the way you love yourself is the same way you love your brother.
How are we supposed to be like-minded? We understand that brotherhood is an example, but how do we even understand what brotherhood is? Keep it simple.
I don't know, sir.
Law, statutes, commandments.
Come.
See how simple that was?
Come.
Flat, simple. Now it's a matter of, okay, let me learn the law, statutes, commandments. Well, you know what? We got classes for that. You know what I'm saying? Having the same love. What is that same love?
Law, statutes, commandments.
Okay.
It's a lot. Because from what I read in 1 John chapter 5 and 3.
Read, pull it.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 5 and verse number 3. For this is the love of God.
This is the love of God. Go ahead.
That we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous.
Now, what I want you to do next, pull for me where it says what the greatest commandment is.
The book of Mark, chapter 12, and verse number 30.
It's good to see you, not Zot. Go ahead.
It's the book of Mark, chapter 12, and verse number 29. And Yahushua answered him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
First of all, hear, O who?
O Israel.
O world?
O Israel.
Everybody.
O Israel.
Damn, man. Like, so it sounds like this is this is speaking to a select people, right? I'm glad that we was able to distinguish that. Go ahead and read on.
The Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment.
Ooh, man. So do we understand what that love is? So now let's go back to Philippians 2 and 2, right? When it says that one love, you understand where we are of Salaki, that we be like-minded, having the same love. So now us being like-minded, we understand what are we being like-minded on?
The first greatest commandment, loving the Most High God with everything in it.
Being like-minded in the law, statutes, and commandments. Having one love. What is that one love? No. You still mix them up. We all be like-minded. Okay, we can make it even simpler. We be like-minded in the fact that we want to serve the Most High God, right? We want to serve the Most High God and be obedient to the Most High God. In other words, we love the Most High God, right? Having the same love. What is that same love? That we all love the Most High God. By doing what? But when we have that same love, how do we have that same love, though? We be like-minded. So when we have the same love, we're being like-minded. Being like-minded, what are we doing? Keeping the law, statutes, commandments. We're being obedient to the Most High God, right? Being of one accord. What is being one accord?
That means not break off into all over the world.
We don't have all those divisions of how do you say break off? What is it called? Break off. It's being a break off. Because you know what, in my opinion, they don't deserve being called a school, being called a camp. Because camp is something that you do. Right. You go to camp. You're not a camp. You go to camp. You know what I'm saying? You can make camp, but you make camp like, nigga, Where the fire at? Where that rotisserie? Goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Chicken. Most of you fake Israelites, y'all don't even know how, you fake break-offs, y'all don't even know how to pluck a chicken. Come to my house, I'll teach you how to pluck a chicken. Watch. I'm about to have me a chicken coop. You understand? But you understand what I'm saying? Being in one accord. What does that being one accord?
Always being one accord, basically, not break off guys. Just everybody coming together as one.
You can say same doctrine. I mean, like I don't really like using doctrine just because of the fact, like, of course we all understand what doctrine is, that there's different doctrines and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the Bible doesn't talk about different doctrines, aside from the fact that, like what we broke down last week, that you can have your own ideology, you can be led by your own pride and lust, but there's only one doctrine. You know what I'm saying? And then of one mind. What is that one mind? How would you explain one mind?
One mind.
Mm-hmm. No. Think about it. You coming to classes? Grab the sister a chair, Baba Kasha. Grab her. Make sure it's one of the ones with a cushion on it. Baba Kasha. Shalom, little Christ, sis. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar Ilathaba Shimmy Awashai. It's good to see you. Baba Kasha. Just so that you can get up to speed, right now we're at the book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 2. Kind. And then, are you interested in any of this, sis? Just so you know it is there. The young man can go get you one. You sure? All right, we're at Philippians 2 and 2 right now. All right. No, you too up, sis. You ain't gotta apologize. I'm already understanding. All right. So let's go back to you, young man. Right. So what is that of one mind? What is one mind? One, like, how would you explain that?
It shouldn't be a bunch of division. It should just be everybody under one organization.
Yes. But you were using earlier the example of one body, right? So how many minds does a body have if they're stable, we should say? Because you got them multi personality people, you know what I'm saying? Somebody of a sound mind, one mind, strong mind. That's what we're supposed to be, right? How many minds do they have? It's just the one, right? So I want to put this. What is that sound mind supposed to be, though? Now, we've already gone over law, statutes, commandments. We've gone over, serving the Most High God. We've also gone over having that one love, being, one accord, right? But what is the one mind? Because, essentially it brings it all together. Sis, you want to take a stab at it? If you want a minute to, read it for yourself, we'll read it again, and then you can take a stab if you like. See, she just sat down. Young man would have taken care of you. It's all right. You read it for me, bro? Go ahead and read it.
Come. It's the book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse number 2. Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind.
So
I'm wanting y'all to break this down for me. See me one more time, Baba Rashad. I'm wanting to break down. If you would like to break down the entire verse, that's fine. But right now, he's already broke down some of it. He's just, we're just doing of one mind a little bit more. The water. The water.
I mean, if I may, for me, I think one mind is in the UPK.
Okay.
All these break-offs, just coming back to where everybody started from in the UPK.
Let's think about what's the function of a mind, though. That's why I was coming back to when you had said what a one body is, and you're right, sis. But what is when you're thinking of one body? What is the mind? Go ahead.
Go in the same direction.
Thank you. Give the sister a hand. That's where I wanted y'all to go with it. Is the fact that the mind is orchestrating everything, the entire body, to accomplish one particular goal. And that's to accomplish everything else that we had just read with that, for one, that we fulfill his joy, right? That we be like-minded. So our minds is going after the Most High God, which is actually interesting because then it also says of one mind at the end of it. So we're being like-minded of one mind to serve the Most High God, right? Having the same love. That same love is following the law, statutes, commandments. We love the Most High God, so we follow his commandments. Just like what the young man brought out, First John 5:3, right? Being of one accord. We all understand that we all have to be under, like what you said, under one banner. This right here. What is this right here?
That's, Israelite school, university, practical knowledge.
Okay, that's the acronym. What I'm talking about is this, where I'm literally putting my finger on.
No, sir.
So in Hebrew, it's the Magan Dawadah, right? But what is the Magan Dawadah? Or in English, it's the shield of David, right? What is that? You not sure?
No.
Sis, you want to take a stab at it?
It's our banner, our flag, like the flag of the United States. That's
okay.
Ours.
You're right, but give me more. There's a little bit more of a significance to that.
I don't know. It's I know it's the signet, the signet of King David.
Right. And of which, what does the prophecy also say? That Yahushua was going to sit in the seat of his father. So whose banner are we going to be under? Whose signet are we going to be under? This is our signet. This is our signet of our nation, which comes from King David, of which Yahushua sits on that throne. Do y'all understand that? Right? So, and we're of one mind. That one body is to make sure that our nation is moving in one direction together so that we are doing this all together. And mind you, how are we also doing that? Like, how would you explain that with what we're doing in the ISUPK? How would you explain that? How would you explain that we are being of one mind, one body in the ISUPK to obtain Philippians 2:2?
I would say, all the fake schools, coming together with where it all started at, getting ready for Yahushua's return.
Okay, so how are we getting ready for Yahushua's return? Remember, I'm a dumb Christian. You can't be vague with me.
You're not going to be vague with me in my class. I need to make sure that you understand. You understand?
I don't know, sir.
Sis, you want to take a stab at it?
So could you repeat your question for me?
How is it that we show we're being one body, one mind like today?
Because every place that there is an ISUPK, no matter where it is, 7 days a week, we teach the same, I don't want to say doctrine, but the same scriptures.
Yeah, I don't like that word either.
All over.
Right.
So no matter where you go,
right.
You're going to get the same. And because of what we do, how we teach, all the tribes are coming in. People are finding their identity and they're coming in.
Right.
But it's consistent. It's one body. It's one teaching. I mean, to the degree that it is always at 7:00 p.m. classes start, no matter where you are in the globe. When it's 7 p.m., there's a class going on. So we have a uniformity that is because we have one head, one mind, one body.
There's one mind. Like that one mind is saying, hey, this is how we're going to operate. Commander General Yohana said, gave out the order. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays is our is the order to be completed for everybody to have class from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Of your respective region, time zones, right? But it don't stop there. What else are we doing? We're having food drives. We're having clothing drives. We're going to camp. You understand? We are taking care of our own. We have things like the mission to Akuna, where our so-called Haitian brothers and sisters, or our Levites, where we're put into a situation where they had to flee. They had to be migrants going into Mexico, but they had to be in that gray area without food, without water, without clothing. ISUPK found out about that and gave them food, gave them clothing. You understand? Gave them toiletries, gave them the assistance so that this hell that you're in isn't going to be as bad. We got you. You understand what I'm saying? That is the mind that we have orchestrating the body to accomplish bringing all of us back together so that we are all back on one accord, having one love, and being like-minded, which is putting us first. Serve the Lord and putting us first. Love the Lord and putting us first. You love the Lord, and after the Lord, what do you do by default? What do you do by default, whether you're an atheist, whatever, doesn't matter where you're at. What do you do by default? You love yourself. The Bible is just the Most High is commanding you that you just love him more than you love yourself, which is he's telling you, be prepared to be selfless. God damn it. But it's not even selfless where you got to be like Buddha. Where Buddha pretty much starved himself. That fake Buddha is actually, that fat Buddha is actually fake. Buddha wasn't fat. All right. He was extremely skinny. He was so selfless that he damn near didn't even eat. Nigga, you gonna kill yourself for what? What point are you trying to make? You get what I'm saying? No. Just be selfless in the fact that you take care of your brother the way that you want to be taken care of. You love your brother the way that you want to be loved. And sisters as well. You understand? And that's completely interchangeable. That's what it's about. That's the one body. That's what the love is, right? All right. Pretty sure I beat that in well enough. Pause. We'll drop that. Pull for me 1 John 2:19. Sis, you had your hand up.
I was was looking at a video earlier today,
Uh-huh.
and because you're talking about the love, we need to love. If we love the Most High first and foremost, obey His rules, then we will be able to love ourselves and love our brothers as ourselves, right? But I saw this video, and the title of the video was "Angry Black People in Detroit," and oh my God, it was just, it was really hard to watch. My brothers,
Was this going on like today or?
Yeah, I just was thumbing through some, what do you call that thing? The TikTok thing.
Okay.
The video says, angry Black people in Detroit, and it was just that there's so much hate among us for us, and it was so painful to watch. I mean, I could see the pain on the faces of my brothers, and like you could also see the hatred that they had one for each other in this place that they were in, and it's disturbing, and it's really disturbing because in the UPK we have love for one another. We have genuine love. We have genuine brotherhood and sisterhood. So when you look outside of that, that's some really disturbing stuff.
So Locky, grab this right here. This, I guess, it wasn't even freaking plugged in. This doggone thing about to die. Plug that in, Baba Shah.
Come.
There we go. The water. No, yeah, come on, sis. I mean,
It's hard to watch.
it just it really is. Especially as you get further and further into this truth, and the further you get into this truth, the more that you actually love you love your people, and you understand that much more why we need to stop fighting. But of course, just like what Moses had dealt with that, we taught on last week, we so stiff-necked, we so doggone stubborn on wanting to do our own thing. Part of our own thing, sadly, is to come up against one another. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to have that dominion. But the crazy thing is, if we just love one another like we love ourselves, nigga, you will have dominion.
Absolutely.
You will have rulership. You will have rulership over the earth. You worried about a doggone street. You worried about a freaking city. The Lord will give us the earth. Not just a region, a country. No, you'll have your respective country, but you will have the earth to dictate. And then hell, once we decide to break out into space, nigga, you might be given Mars and goddamn planets you never even heard and thought of, seen, and star systems, like y'all, galaxies. Like, y'all understand what I'm saying? And we only understand right now is galaxies, or we know solar systems, we know galaxies, and we know a universe. Man, well, A is kind of implemented in the name. For all we know, there may be multiverses. Like, you don't know what the hell. What is it? Just like what the scripture says, there has been no mind, eyes, ears that have ever fathomed what the kingdom of heaven is going to be like. Nigga, you don't know. And basically, all you got to do is two things: love the Most High God with all your mind, body, and soul, and just love your brother like you love yourself. Which in turn, if you really think about it, the second commandment, just like what Yahushua said, he even followed up with the second greatest commandment is like the first greatest commandment. Why? Why is it like the first greatest commandment? Because mind you, he's talking about loving two different entities, but why is it like the first commandment unto itself?
I would say because, if you don't love yourself, how can you love your brother?
No, sis.
Because in both of those instances, you have to put someone before yourself. You have to be selfless and loving the Most High and loving your brother as yourself. You come last.
How about we just make it extremely simple?
We make it extremely simple. When you love the Most High God, you're already being commanded to be brotherly, to love your brothers and sisters like you love yourself. That's why Yahushua said that the first or the second is like unto the first, because you're already doing it, nigga.
So
go ahead. Make sure that you raise your hand though, but no, go ahead. Go ahead. You twat.
When you truly submit yourself to the Lord by keeping His laws, statutes, commandments, but first and foremost, loving Him with everything in you, you already gonna know how to love your brothers.
You understand? Because if you're loving the Most High God, what are you not going to do that is unbrotherly? What are you? Give me an example according to the law. Because the Most High told us not to do certain things that would show that if you offend this law, you don't love your brother. Because mind you, there's laws that of which you can do this to the other nations. You just don't do it to your own brother. And now with the time that we're in, it's January. There should be one thing in particular that everybody should raise their hand and know exactly what it is. Go ahead.
I would say, from what I know in the law, you can't charge your brother interest.
Usury. Give the brother a hand. That was literally what I was gonna, because mind you, every paycheck that you get is already being what? It's already being taxed. Then you're going to take that tax money and go and buy something of which is going to be, it's going to be taxed again. It's a nonstop taxing. You understand? Then not only that, but if you go and borrow some money from a brother, what does the law say about borrowing money? So I borrow money from you, right? What does the law say?
The law says I can't charge you interest. You just got to give me back
whatever I took from you. I got to replace it. But what does it say when you're dealing with the other nations, though?
You can charge interest.
You usury. Get their ass.
Okay.
God damn it. You get what I'm. Y'all understand what I'm. Y'all understand? Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shamar Ilathub by Hashem Yahushua says it's good to see you in the class. Shalom Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Iwaraya. Salaki, if I said that incorrectly. Salaki. Go ahead. No, you ain't gotta raise your hands. Go ahead, man. Ain't no thing. Go ahead, sis.
We were in 1 John.
Now we're at 1 John 2 and 19. 1 John 2 and 19. No, 19. So okay, so you're gonna go in there. You got it. All right, no sweat. Yeah, no sweat. So this is the book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 19. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. Like this verse right here, I damn near slick. Want to wait until the young man returns because this is so doggone heavy. So we might actually break it down twice because it's, the sister is here. And I do want to get this, moving forward and whatnot. But actually, you know what? We'll revisit this one. All right. Our next one we're going to go to is Ephesians 4:4 and Salakia. Like that verse is just so heavy. And, as I've been saying, this is a young man. And I want to make sure that this young man is squared away and understands, how we have, like what the title says, it's one truth, it's one body, which is one West. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So like, it's these verses that I'm pulling for y'all, that I'm showing y'all, from this week, even from last week, right? Where last week we went solely just on the story of Moses and how when Moses was bringing us out of Egypt, and brothers and sisters was trying to raise up against him on some like, why should you have all this power to yourself? Like you taking too much on you. In other words, what are they saying, sis?
they want to be in charge too. We don't want they don't want one mind.
Okay.
If you don't have one mind, then the body is, things don't work.
But stick to the question. Stick to the topic and stick to the question. What are they saying? You take it too much upon yourself. What they're asking is, or what they're saying is, you got too much power on you. You are trying to lead all of us by yourself when it can be divided amongst us. But what did the Most High set up? It was for Moses to lead Israel, right? But what was that brother's name? Do you remember that brother's name that we read last week? So actually, we can stay in Philippians or First John. It was what? Korah. Korah was saying, he was telling Moses, "You taking too much on you. Share the power. We can have basically sex where this section is doing this section is doing that, where we lead it." But where did the Most High God say that? That's why the Most High God didn't create IUIC. A man did. GOCC, a man did. You understand? All these other fake Israelite groups, they're groupies. At the end of the day, they're groupies. Let's be real. They ain't camps. They ain't school. They groupies. And what are groupies? They're just lustful ass people who just are in love with an idea. They're in love with the sound. They are lustful for a sound. Ain't no difference than, I see you says, ain't no difference than like an AC/DC groupie. I don't know, give me somebody, Lil Wayne groupie. They're lustful for the sound. And we'll sleep with everybody and anybody else that is associated with AC/DC or Lil Wayne. Of course, they're gonna give it up immediately for AC/DC, Lil Wayne, whatever music group. Being a groupie isn't just pertaining to just music, though. You understand what I'm saying? Since you had your hand up.
Sir, attention seekers, they want the adoration. They want to be adored like Moses. They want that adoration. Those groupies want the same. When the Kiss is playing, the groupies want what Kiss gets when Kiss is on the stage.
Right.
So, yeah.
Ain't that what we went over last week? Right? Sis wasn't even, sis no. Sis had that breakdown before. She tracking. You understand? And mind you, this is a sister. Has this understanding. That's why the ISUPK is on the level that is on, because even our sisters have these types of understanding. If you really think about it to an extent, our sisters damn near outrank all these fake groups, these groupies. Because nigga, you don't even know the Bible. Our sisters are so doggone humble. They so beautiful, they so wonderful that they're not gonna go out of their way to say, "Hey, nigga, shut the hell up. You don't know what the hell you doing. You don't know what the hell you talking about. This is what it is." No, you know what they do? I'm gonna show up to class. I'm gonna let my husband or my camp leader deal with your ass. Y'all understand that? What other camp has that? Nah, them other camps being ruled and dictated by their women. Salaki, right? 1 John 2 and 19. Go ahead and read that when you got it, Baba Kashai.
Come. It's the book of 1 John, chapter 2, and verse number 19.
Mm-hmm.
They went out from us.
They went out from us. Who is the us?
ISUPK.
Now, mind you, so be mindful of what you're reading. Was there ISUPK back then? So, but what was there that is universal that was back then?
Right.
Okay, You're right about the Christ. You're right about Yahweh. You are right about the prophets. You're right. But there's something in particular that was universal. That is universal, meaning universal that translates from yesterday to today, and quite frankly, tomorrow as well. What is that one thing?
It's going back to Philippians 2, verse 2, where we're under one accord.
That's not what I'm looking for, sis.
Israel.
Okay, it's Israel. Yes, you like you're right there. What is it though? That came out from us being the truth. It's the truth.
It came out of the truth.
It'll make more sense. Read on.
Come.
That's my fault. I should have let you. We should have read the verse first. Salakia. Go ahead and read from the top. That's my fault. Salakia. I took that from y'all.
John chapter 2 and verse number 19.
They
went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they might be manifest that they were not all of us.
All right. Let's break that down from the top, right? They went out from us. The us is what? The truth. They went out from the truth. They went out, today we are the ISUPK. But yesterday at this time, what was it? The followings and teachings of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. You understand? But they were not of us. Man, so they went out from us, but they weren't of us. So what is that implying? Why is it that they weren't of us? You got two separate answers that I will take. What do you think it is that made them not of us? You know what I mean?
All Israel ain't Israel.
Okay, but you gotta give me more. Like, I want you to lay it out flat. Like, that's a good precept. That's a good precept. But lay it out flat. Sis?
Because they weren't in the truth. They weren't walking. If they were, they wouldn't have gone anywhere.
But I mean, if they was with us though, they went from us, right? So in other words, they was with us though. So what do you mean that they were never in the truth?
Because they didn't believe what Yahweh Shai was saying. They didn't or couldn't accept what he was saying. Because if they did or could, they would never have gone anywhere. They would have stayed right there.
That's so let me just ask for clarification real quick. So what you're saying is, if they truly actually believed in Yahweh Shai and his teachings and his word, his walk, they would have never walked away?
They would never have gone anywhere.
That's crazy. There's a sister, Nazam Anya. Salakia says, if I butcher your name, she just said what you just said. If they was truly in the truth, they would have never left. Give both these sisters a hand. It's as simple as that. You understand? If they was truly of us, it's like this. Because you got to think that we are a military. We are an army of the Most High God. Now, what does an army do for whatever they are, whomever they are alleged to? Is that the word? Alleged? Have allegiance to? We'll go with that. Whatever army has allegiance to, what do they do? Go ahead.
Protect.
They protect. Okay, I'll take that. Follow commands, the sister said. I'll take that.
They stay together.
They stay together. How about the fact that they are loyal until the death? You're gonna fight to the death, ain't you? That's what a military does, right? That's what an army does, right? You fight to the death of what you are loyal to. So if you leave this army, you weren't loyal, was you? Let's go ahead and read on.
Come. Verse number 20.
No.
Oh, sorry.
We're breaking it down. So they went from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us,
they would no doubt have continued with us.
So if they was really about this, you continue. Because what is it that we teach? Of course, we know we teach the Bible. But like I said, I'm a dumb Christian. I'm asking y'all, what is it that we teach? There is a verse in particular that I want y'all to precept. I could think of actually a couple of them. When you come into the truth, what is I'm trying to pick how I word this so I don't give away the answer. I'm gonna give y'all a few moments. When you come into the truth, what is it that you need to expect? That's the question I want to give y'all. Give me 1 second, Salakia. I gotta use the train my doggone self, so Salakia give me 45 seconds.
I was in there in bed, and I'm like, let me get up and go to class today, because I usually just watch it from the TV because my body hurts so bad. But I'm like, nah, I'm getting up. I'm gonna go today. I'm going out tonight to the class.
Sounds good.
So how you feel so far? What you think?
I'm loving
it. It's different, ain't it?
Yeah. So me personally, I've been a part of 3 different camps, and I've never felt what I'm feeling now. Like,
that's the home of the truth.
This is real. Like, I really love it. Like, I can't wait to, really
just keep going.
Come.
And you gonna be tested, but it's worth it. It's worth every ache, every pain, and trust me, I live in pain 24/7. I'm like the bionic woman with all this metal, but it's worth it. It is, and I'm an old lady, okay? So I've been looking for the Most High basically since I was 3 years old. In and out of churches and all this kind of stuff. But when I came home to the truth, to the EPK. I'm home. I'm home.
You don't know how long have you been in part of this?
All right, slide it. Let's get back on the topic, right? All right. So we got endure to the end. All right. Has anybody else came up with an answer? Go ahead, young man.
This is a precept. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation."
Okay. Now the sister pulled John 14:16. Hold what you just read, though. I want to see what the sister had pulled out.
The book of John, chapter 14, and verse number 16. "And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever."
No, sis. That's not where I wanted to go with that. You wanted to also put you had something as well, sis?
So if I go by what the title is saying, then the precept would be Ephesians 5:4. One body, one Lord, one baptism, one faith.
Let's find out.
I just lost Ephesians. I was like, I'm gonna kill you. I have to do this every Monday. Ephesians
I want you to hold that in Ecclesiastes that you pull, young man.
Hi, sir. It's Ephesians 4 and 4.
For Ecclesiastes
4 through 6.
or Ephesians 4. Go ahead and read what it got.
Come. It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, and verse number 4.
Uh-huh.
There is one body and one spirit, even as you are called, and one hope of your calling. Verse 5. One Lord, one faith, one baptism. Verse 6. One God and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in you all. Verse 7. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Christ.
Okay. So, no, that's not where I was going with that. Read what I had pulled again in Ecclesiastes.
Come. It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, and verse number 1.
Mm-hmm.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Now, one of the other verses I would have taken, gird up thy loins.
Okay.
You understand? Because at the end of the day, what is it that we all have to do when we decide that we're going to leave the truth? Or it's like when we all decide that we're going to leave the world. Salakia.
Take up your cross.
You yeah. No, you twop. We gotta like the brother just said, you gotta take up your cross. You gotta be prepared to take up your cross. But what is that? What does that mean though? To take up your cross. What does that mean?
Come. That means like, when you come to serve the Lord, you can be put at your lowest.
Give it to me flat. Simple. Very simple.
May I bring out a precept?
Come.
Okay. It's the book of Romans. So I'll get chapter 12 and verse number 1. It says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. So I bring this up to show that, we have to be, because we're living, so we have to be that living sacrifice to the Most High God, Yahweh, and whatever you go through, you have to understand who the Most High God is and deal with that. And just gird up your loins, like you said, and just continue to be obedient and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments.
So what you got to understand is when you are presenting yourself as a sacrifice, what I want to say, what are you engaging in? What are you preparing yourself to do? What are you engaging in?
I would say there's going to be a time of trouble for, the descendants of Jacob. And like the scripture says, you have to endure to the end. So you have to be, ready for whatever the Lord's going to bring it to you. Like,
keep it simple, Hot.
Basically, whatever comes your way, serving the Lord, you have to understand that who the Most High God is, and as long as you're being obedient, the battle's already won.
That's not necessarily where I go with that. Sis, you had your hand up.
Prepare yourself for war. It's a fight. It's a
fight.
Fight to the absolute.
It's a fight.
Okay.
Simple, plain cut, simple, dry, whatever. You understand? Just like with the sister, Nazam Na'a. And Salaki said, correct me if I'm saying that incorrectly. Give me the, my hooked on phonics, is expired. So, give me the phonetic way of saying it if I'm saying it incorrectly. So if I am, Salakia. If I'm not, then, this Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just messing. But no, exactly. You prepare yourself to battle. You understand? So just like with my example with before, if you are in a military, your allegiance is to whatever
nation, whatever it is that you're fighting, you join a military, your loyalty is assigned to what that military stands for. Good way to put it, right? We all agree. That's a deep. We can understand how I just put it like that, right? So then if you end up leaving that military, like take for example, I'm prime example. I left East Al's military. As soon as I learned about the truth, finished my contract, I got the hell out. Would you say that I'm some, good old boy patriot? I got out for a reason. You understand? Mind you, I switched militaries. You understand what I'm saying? I decided, and now mind you, this military ain't paying me in this physical world, this physical life, right? I mean, they were. I had health care. I had the whole shebang. You understand? I decided to leave that behind and come here and still say my life is not my own. Something is greater than what my life is. Now, how would I look if I were to turn around and say, I'm not even gonna do the imitation. You ain't taking my fucking covers. I like it for my language. You ain't taking my covers. But what would it look like for somebody who has their cover, leave the school, and then your cover is hanging up on the ceiling of your school? What does that look like for that person? You're a coward. You are a doggone coward. You was never with us. You might have taken the oath. You might have went through some hell. But you know what? Hell doesn't end until when? Until the Most High says so, or what you said. Because I know what you meant. You got to endure into the end. When is the end? What, when you take your cover off? When you decide to, you know what, screw this. I want to go back to sleeping with whores and white women and smoking weed and snorting coke, and you understand? All of these lustful, disgusting, acts, offensive acts against the Most High. Oh, so you make the rules. You dictate what is enough. Then what the funny thing is about that, because you do have some of them people who drop their sword, wrap back around and say, well, it's a man-written book. But isn't the rules that you just made to justify you leaving, wasn't that man-made? You just made the rule, didn't you? Because you want to follow, what is it that you want to follow? You want to follow science? Oh, well, that's man's understanding of what God established. You want to follow Buddha? Buddha was a philosopher. That's actually not a religion. That's actually a philosophy. I studied that for a little bit. It's it's not a religion. So you following after a man. Hinduism, Muslim, this Muslim, what is his name? The prophet for the Muslims. What is his name? Muhammad. Yeah, Muhammad. Salak. Muhammad was just a plagiarizer of Yahushua. He was a plagiarizer of Yahushua, who of which was also a pedophile. Y'all see where I'm going with this? What is it that you really want to follow? You want to follow a disgusting ass man. That's it. Because when you follow a disgusting man, what does that mean for yourself?
You're a disgusting man.
Okay, yes, but again, I'm gonna quit being vague. I'm a dumb Christian. I'm asking you, what does that mean for yourself?
You want to follow your own lust.
You want to follow your own lust. You can't hang with the truth. You can't endure to the end because your lusts is more powerful than
You're allowing your lust being more powerful than your spirit. You can't. I see you said you don't have enough willpower to fight back on what your flesh desires. You understand? Which is actually a really funny thing, just for anybody else that's a nerd like me. I love me some RPG video games and whatnot. Willpower is a whole, that term willpower is a whole lot deeper when you understand in video games, your willpower is also your power to, withstand damage, but also inflict damage. Now, you understand why I brought my nerdiness into this classroom just now, right? Because it's a double-edged, it's the sword and the shield. You have strong enough willpower, high enough willpower, ain't nobody can hurt you, ain't nothing can hurt you. But God damn it, you can inherit your inheritance, which is to do, which is what? No, sis. What is our inheritance?
Rulership.
The earth. The entire goddamn earth. You just got to have enough willpower to endure some damage. To say, you know what? You want to keep it nerdy, I got health potions for that. Or, man, keep it simple. Man, I got my health potions and my goddamn brothers. You understand what I'm saying? Because mind you as well, we are all taught and instructed in the ISUPK to learn how to mend each other physically and also spiritually. Mentally, you don't get that nowhere else on the face of the earth. You understand? Sis, you had your hand up.
When you were talking, sir, I just remember that movie, the Jack Nicholson, his famous line. You can't handle it.
Nah, Most High Christ. And that's facts. Go ahead and read that again from the top.
First John.
Okay.
We go to 1 John chapter 2 and verse number 19.
Uh-huh.
They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would not doubt have continued with us.
Simple as that. If you was really of us, you would have put it simple. What would you have done?
Stay here.
Yes, but niggerize it.
Loyalty.
If it was us, you wouldn't have no purple shirt on.
That's one way to say it. But like I said, give me the nigga version. Give me the UPK nigga biblical version. I believe somebody said it. Yeah. Salakia. I'm about to butcher his name. Iwaraya. Salakia. But like he said, he just said you would have stayed down with us, right? But there's something in particular that he said earlier that you would have done. Nobody? So he said, he giving y'all a great hit. You would have stayed down with us. Sister just said, suffer until the end. Stand 10 toes down in this truth. And then, see, the sister and the brother just came on to one accord. Most High Christ. The sister said, Nazam Anya. She just said, suffer until the end. Stand 10 toes down in this truth. And the brother said it exactly how I wanted y'all to say it. It's the same thing that the sister just said. Endure to the end. You would endure to the end. If you was really of us, you will endure unto the end. Who's your prime example of that?
Yahweh Shamashiach. Straight and narrow is the path. And what is that path? Who is the leader of that path? Yahweh Shamashiach, right? And what did he do? Allowed himself, mind you, allowed himself to be nailed to that cross, allowed himself to be speared, allowed himself to suffer what he had to suffer, to give up his life. Mind you, we all know that he didn't even want to die.
That's right.
We should all know it's not about what the hell you want.
That's right.
It's about what the Lord's will is, because the Lord's will pass.
That's right.
Either you come to terms with it, accept it, and quite frankly, I mean, hell, look what happened with Yahweh Shai. He was blessed. Look what he was given, the privilege to pass out crowns of life. We follow after that. What do you get? That crown of life that he's going to pass out. You understand what I'm saying? Rulership. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead and read on.
Come.
Uh-huh.
But they went out.
Go ahead.
That they might be made manifest.
That they may be manifest. Ooh. Go ahead and read this. Read the rest of it, and then we're going to break it down.
That they were not all of us.
Ooh. Break it down, young man. Just that last part. But they went out. What's that? What's that saying right there? But they went out. They left the truth, right? They left the truth that they might be made manifest. What's that saying right there? So they left the truth so that they may be manifest. Man, give the young man a hand. So that they can be praised. Wasn't this what we was talking about before at the gym and last week? That is this, when you leave the truth, you leave because of pride. It's pride and or lust. You understand? It's pride and or lust. It's stronger than your will to serve the Most High God. It's as simple, cut and dry as that. You understand? But right here, we're talking about people who left the truth. So why is it that they're being manifest? You know, why is it that they left so that they could be made manifest? That they were not all of us. Like, I wanted to hit the last part of it. That they were not all of us. When you add that last part, why? Why is that a thing? Because I mean, I basically gave y'all the answers for, you know, why they made themselves manifest. But I want y'all to tell me, why is it that they were, you know, they made it so that they were manifest to not be of us in the first place? Do y'all understand what's being said right there at that last portion where it says, but they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. Y'all understand that part? So they were being made manifest so that they were not made of us, or not made that they were not all of us. Go ahead, young man.
I would say that they were being made manifest, meaning they would, you know, get puffed up in the spirit, so the Lord can show you that they was never even for y'all or about this.
Wait, say that again. I want to make sure I heard what you said correctly.
Meaning they were made manifest for a reason to show you, you know, what the truth is, that they were never of you anyway. They had to be made manifest just to show you that they were never a part of this, because the Lord controls everything.
So okay, let me ask you this. So are you saying that the Most High made them that way? No. Sis, want to take a stab at it?
So if I'm understanding this correctly, it's still about they want the adoration and the praise. It's always been about them. They want to be on Front Street.
Okay.
You don't. They want to be the boss.
Right.
then this is why they break off. And so if I'm understanding this correctly, it's like, don't mourn for them because they weren't with you anyway.
Okay, that would be the first half that we already read.
Mm-hmm.
I want this last portion. I want the last portion to be explained, but they went out, right? So they left.
Mm-hmm.
That they might not, or it's like it, that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. I promise y'all. Okay, we're not supposed to promise. I think I'm allowed to at least guarantee. I can say I can guarantee. I guarantee y'all that if y'all don't give me the answer and I give y'all the answer, y'all gonna it's so much simpler than what y'all think. Quit thinking, quit trying to put your whole nose and head into the goddamn scripture. Like, it's in your face. It's already there. Quit looking so hard.
Basically, when they left,
Make sure you raise your hand. You got the floor. You got the floor, but make sure you raise your hand.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Basically, when they left, it just proved that they was not of us.
You are right, but that's not. No, the sister said the truth not in them. You're right. We understand that the truth ain't. They really don't have the truth. But I need y'all to think a certain way. And actually, young man, you in particular have a story of which you have shared with me that this should resonate with you as far as an understanding. And it's a like it. I'm not trying to throw you in, air you out like that. You know what I'm saying? But, and I guarantee you, when I give you the answer, you go, oh, this nigga played up. No, I was playing. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
So like you said, to manifest something is so you can see it clearly.
To manifest is to create. So what we generally do when we're not 100% sure what a word is, look it up. Look up the word manifest, Baba Kasha. Give y'all a little bit more time, brainstorm. Now I'm gonna say this just for y'all that are tuning in and that are in class, and of course, first and foremost, give yourselves a hand for those of y'all that are in the class, whether it's online or in person. You understand? It's always a very big deal. You understand? So like y'all should always be proud of yourselves for making class, right? But again, because I'm extremely competitive. I'm so competitive that I'll create games in my head when I'm out with the brothers. I'm doing whatever where they don't even know that they're competing. And I try to keep it as casual as possible, and then I'll compete, right? I know it sounds a little bit ridiculous, but I've got one of those really busy minds. So like that's one thing to keep myself occupied, right? But anyways, so one of the games that I play when I'm in class, when I'm the student, I always try to play stump the teacher. My math teacher in the 6th grade, my algebra teacher, she taught me to play that game. Where even if it's not in a time of to ask questions or to give answers, to speak, think of ways to try to outsmart the teacher. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on the context of, oh, you didn't know this, or I knew this and you didn't. It's not that. It's because when I'm in the UPK classes, I try to get Officer Shabal, Officer Bakar, Officer Shalimar to do what you got me to do earlier. I got to write this down. I got to ask somebody greater than me. I won the game. I get a point. Because mind you as well, how he gets how the teacher gets points against me? is when he asks a question, I raise my hand and it's wrong. There's a tally system. It's not a one-sided game. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, naturally, he's going to ask more questions to make sure that I, as the student, understand what is being taught, which in turn, me being a competitor, what is that going to make me do? Of course, obtain the answer, find the answer, but it encourages me to study for myself, to ask questions at angles that challenges my brothers. Iron sharpeneth iron, right? You understand? Did you have an answer?
I have a definition.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
It's actually in the blue letter.
Okay, no, most high Christ.
Come. So it says to be known, to be plainly recognized, thoroughly understand or understood. Who and what is one, to be manifest, to be known of a person.
So we'll take that definition, read that last part again from, but they went out. Read that again.
It said, this is 1 John.
Just go ahead and read it.
Okay.
But they went out.
But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us.
So what is that saying?
They wanted to be known. They wanted to be,
they wanted to be known
praised.
what?
Like they wanted to be that.
Right. They wanted to be praised. Now we're on the right track. But that's not the full answer. What's the second half? That's only one half. What's the second half?
They wanted to be recognized.
Okay, they want to be recognized. I mean, you pretty much already said that. You was about to say something, sis?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of stumped here. It's just that they were not all of us. They weren't weren't with us from the very beginning.
They wanted to be manifested. They want to be known that they weren't of us. Okay. But where did Nathaniel come from before he became a purple alternative lifestyle person? Where'd he come from?
ISUPK.
He came from us.
Yeah.
But he tries to make it seem like he didn't get the truth from us and then divert it. Does that make sense? So read it again, right? Because you look a little like we don't understand that. So it says, but they went out. So we'll stick with Elder Nathaniel or Nathaniel. I don't know why I keep saying Elder, but they went out. So Nathaniel left. He was here with us. He left, right? That they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. So he left, of course, for the pride and the lust that he had. But when does he teach and let them know that, hey, everything that I learned came from the ISUPK. I changed this so that you would agree with me. No. Repeat what you said.
Earlier, I said that it's made clear that they were never with us from the beginning.
Right.
Because it's about him being in charge, him being the boss. He wants the adoration and everything.
Okay. I can see. Okay. In that context, like, yeah, it was the same thing. But of course, because we got the young man, and then for the sake of the class, I wanted it more flat. Okay. So I told you that you wasn't there out of the fact that I wanted it more flat. So Salaki, you because you did say that. So Salaki, you was right, sis. Salaki threw you off on that. All right, Salaki. Well, since we're a bit over the time, let's get one more. And then we'll close out the class. Salaki for that. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 17. One reason why I really want to get through this this breakdown is because who can tell me why you think I really want to get through it? Especially because we devoted the first class going over what Moses went through, Salakia. But why do you think that this class I want to like really engrave everything that we're reading?
Because all these different camps, they're trying to be made manifest. But at the end of the day, they all got their knowledge from where it started and where
no disrespect, but no, just for time's sake, no, that's not why. Because you're already going in the wrong direction. Sis, you want to take a stab at it?
Can you repeat that for me?
Why is it that with this class today, I really want to like engrave what the topic of today's class, while I'm really trying to like make sure that y'all understand it. When last class we read, an instance with Moses dealing with potential fake camps. Now we're doing it today. What is significant about today versus last class? Maybe that's a better way to ask it.
Because Commanding General Yohana is over the UPK, which makes sense for everybody to come home basically and to have the one.
You're right, but you're right, but that it's simple. It's simpler than that.
Okay.
You want to take another stab? It's because last week we did the Old Testament, and a lot of people try to say that they don't believe in the Old Testament. But today we've only done the New Testament. So now what are you going to refute? What's the disposition? We're saying the same thing last week that we're saying this week. You understand? Go ahead and read that when you got it, Baba Kasha.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, and verse number 17. But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit.
He that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit. So, can you be in any other camp? Can you be a groupie and be of the UPK? Can you be a groupie and be attached to Moses? Can you be a groupie and be now we're saying I'm saying Moses Salakia, but can you be a groupie and be attached to Yahweh Shai Mashiach? You can't. You understand? You can't. Because at the end of the day, what is it? We're all supposed to be what? Pull for me again. We're going to wrap this back around, and we're going to close it back with what we started with today. Philippians chapter 2, verse 2, while I look for the security announcements.
Come.
Go ahead and read it when you got it.
Book of Philippians chapter 2 and verse number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind.
You understand what I'm saying? So you can't. There is no differential. There is no division. There is no divisiveness in the Lord's army, military, or fill in the blank. What's the Big Bang? The Big Bang word. There's no division in the Lord's what? Who can fill in the blank? Go ahead, sis.
His creation.
No, of course.
You said bang.
Well, I said bang like on some like. All right, I'll give you a pass for that. Go ahead. No. What are we? The 12 tribes together. What are we? Okay. What are the Israelites? Sis? Nation. Exactly. There's no division in the Lord's nation. You're not
you may be 12 tribes, 12 broken up tribes, but that's just because we got 12, it's 12 different daddies we come from. 4 different mamas, so to speak. 4 different grandmothers, 12 different daddies. Because technically it's 12 different mothers. But it is what it is, right? We all come from all that. I'm having a hard time finding the doggone security announcements. And this is like the second time. And I'm not gonna kill y'all's time. We're already over the time. And I do appreciate y'all that stuck it through for the extra 10 minutes that we was on. You understand? So with that, Shalom Yahweh Hashem Shalom Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakathum to the brothers. Shalom Shalom Yahweh Shamar Elatah Hashem Yahushai to the sisters. And with that, class dismissed.